We're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Real Estate. My name's Ray. Say hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
That is Dan, and we are both bearded men of real estate. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's going to be a little bit choppy for me today. Hopefully, the audio is coming through fine. Step 3 of the entire revamp of Ray's office process has been done, and I got rid of an old iMac, but I am still on. I'm actually doing this whole show. I have this robot beside me, for lack of a better word. I built a YouTube studio and a stand that also includes a podcast studio. I'm making a video about it, and it's like this giant robot that's right by my face, and then the video camera is kind of swung out in front of me with the microphone, and then I also have this little rinky-dink Air, this M1 Air that I'm doing the whole show on, and we have to go through Wi-Fi today, so it may be just a little bit choppy, but hopefully you guys can hear me. Melissa Marr, she's joining us on YouTube. We are broadcasting in 3 different places right now. We're broadcasting on YouTube, which Melissa was there early, and she said, waiting. We're also on Facebook, which Pete Thorpe is joining us there. He said, I was about to start some work, but then you guys went live. So much for work. That's what we like to do.
So wait, I'm confused. Is it Meta yet, or is it still Facebook?
Well, so the website is Facebook. The company that owns the website is Meta.
Okay, because
like
when you're
social
on
media, Instagram is still going to be Instagram, even though the company that owns Instagram is Meta.
Yeah, and when you're on Instagram, it says at the bottom by Meta or powered by or whatever Meta at the bottom. So that's just a weird. It's a weird thing. Like we're changing to Meta. Oh, but it's still called Facebook. Like it's still old and archaic, and we're not going to improve anything. But okay,
they'll still take all your info.
Yep.
Eric Daniels, he says, Ray and Dan, what's up from Fort Worth?
Hi.
What's up, Eric? Thanks for joining. I saw Eric last week. We got a bunch of news for you today. We missed last week, and some fun stuff happened. So the quick rundown of everything we're going to cover on today's show. And if you're watching this as a replay and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm done with this guy's banter. When is he just going to get to these wonderful articles? You can always go down to the description and you will see the articles listed there with timestamps. And each of those timestamps, you can just zoom right to that part of the article. So we're going to talk about mortgage rates falling slowly after a month-long rise, mortgage rate applications climb in response, and borrowers rush to get in on the last of those low mortgage rates. Mortgage lenders are more willing to now loan to non-prime borrowers.
I didn't even read that one. Don't even care. Don't even want to know about it, but we're going to cover it anyway.
You could say that would be the subprime, right? Home price appreciation will cool. I mean, will it?
Is that the one I sent? Like, that's a funny headline to me.
Yeah. Well, like, we've been saying for a long time, home price gains slow, and that's just another way to say everything we've been saying. Rex, we have some Rex news. So we got word yesterday that they, quote, bit the bullet and joined the MLS. And we got word today that NAR is suing them for their campaign of lies.
Oh, it's so good. And then you got Pete's comment, home buyers roll out.
Yes.
It's sub Optimus Prime.
Yes, that's very good. I like that. Eric, he's joining us. What's up, Eric?
Can I ask you, go back to Pete's comment?
Yeah.
See, for you guys listening, his picture on Facebook is him in front of a green screen. What if he used the green screen to put a green screen behind him, and it's not really a green screen?
Not really a green screen. It's
meta.
Green screen. But I should say that any of our listeners can screen grab Pete's photo and do whatever. They could put him in any kind of predicament with that background. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, we're also going to be
heads up.
We're also going to be talking about any kind of predicament. We're also going to be talking about Better.com employees and what's happening. If you recall, Better fired a whole bunch of people on Zoom.
Yeah, 900 and something.
Yeah. And then they brought this, and the CEO was let go.
And remember, he had, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it.
This is poor form. Yeah. Well, they brought him back, and we reported on that. And now it says Better.com employees leaving in droves. Metaverse. We're going to be talking about the metaverse a little bit today. The real estate sales topped over 500 million. So we're going to talk about what does that mean for real estate agents? And there's an Inman article that says, like, if you want to get involved in this stuff, here's how to do it.
Yeah.
I should mention that me and Zachary Loft on all the social medias, we recently started a mastermind for crypto as it relates to real estate. So if you're interested in that, look up Real Crypto, the Real Crypto. And it's all about like, I think we're going to start with encryption, Dan. I think that's like, in order to understand blockchain, don't you need to have a pretty good understanding of encryption first?
You have to understand where it comes from and why it's even viable.
And math, right? You don't have to understand the math, but you have to understand that there is math being done.
There's math behind it.
Encryption. Right. So we're going to talk about, I think the order that we're going to talk about everything and kind of learn together is encryption, blockchain, then cryptocurrencies, then NFTs, and then metaverse / virtual real estate. So I think that's the order that we're going to go in. It's almost as it was rolled out. But if you're interested in that stuff, join that little mastermind group. I'll see if I can post a link of it. Yeah, so that's it for today's show. Dan, do you have anything you want to share? Anything going on? I haven't talked to you in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it almost sounds like you're ending the show. Dan, where can they find you?
Dan, before we go.
Yeah. Like an idiot. Yeah, I know. Julie, that's kind of what I feel like is I just feel dumb. Even when I'm like, oh, I really understand it. I don't. I'm just saying I do, so I feel cool, but I don't.
I think so. Yeah, for those listeners, Julie Moon said, "I'm so excited about feeling like an idiot learning in that group." So I think everybody's kind of in the same boat. Like, it's not something that our kids are going to struggle with because they're going to grow up with the concepts, just like computers. A lot of us grew up with, so we don't really struggle with computers. But if you asked a millennial today to build a website, they're going to be like, "Okay, so I'm going to go to WordPress, or I'm going to go to whatever. I'm going to go to whatever." If you ask someone my age to build a website, they're going to take like a notepad and start writing, bracket HTML / because that's what we had to do back in the day. So we are in those stages of cryptocurrency, NFTs, blockchain, all that stuff. Whereas I think in the future, a lot of it is going to be so normalized that it'll just kind of be among other technologies. And, Walmart's already using blockchain to track like shipments and things like that. So in the future, it'll be more normal. But right now, like somebody launches a new NFT and their website looks like it's from 1980. It's got these weird pixels and stuff on it. It doesn't have to look like that. They could have just made a normal website, but it's the culture around it right now that I think is so off-putting for a lot of people that are trying to learn it. It's not necessarily the concept. It's my opinion.
Yeah, and dude, my daughters play first-person shooters on their iPads, like on a touch screen. That blows my mind. I'm used to keyboard and mouse.
How do you even do that?
I don't even know. I'm used to keyboard and mouse with the WADs or on my actual controller. I don't get it, but they're good and they're just like moving. I'm like, dude, I don't understand how you do that, but so it's the same thing. But you got to remember, I want to give a little bit of a counterpoint. We also kind of said millennials will or the younger folk will just kind of know that Zillow's there and they'll just kind of use Zillow because it's just a thing and it's more of a concept. But the last 4 years on the show, Zillow's kind of not. They're still a good search tool, but are they the tool for real estate? No.
That's a good question. They've kind of poo-pooed a lot of that.
So I think it's like iBuying. There's going to be a chunk for it, like a chunk of the market for it, but I don't know if it's going to take over.
Yeah.
But I'd love to hear your comments below.
Yeah, for real. But anyway, find that. I'm going to find the link for it too. Dan, before we get into all those news articles, by the way,
can I tell you a funny story real quick?
You giggling for it.
Well, this is actually funny.
Could you tell people what this show is actually all about?
I'm going to tell you a story before I do
this. What happened? Wait.
What?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I'm behind. Yeah, I'm just delayed.
How are you being? All right. Anyway, I already told Ray. So I was trying to sign up for Inman and like pay them money, right? And sign up, but it kept saying my zip code is wrong or whatever. I'm like, no, it's not, but they wouldn't let me to do it. So that was for the first month for $5, right? But they wouldn't allow me to do it. Now I just got an email saying it says finish signing up for Inman Select for just $1. So if you guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So if you guys want a discount, here's a little insider tip. Just go there, start the sign up process for Inman, and then stop it. And then they'll send you a subscribe now button for $1 for the first month.
That's a great tip.
It's good times.
How much is the Inman subscription anyway?
It's $99 for the year or $20 a month, but they were offering $5 for the first month, and I went to sign up, and then it just was a nightmare. I tried a bunch of times. It wouldn't let me get in. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to give you any money then. And now they just offered it the first month to me for $1. So there you go. There's a little pro tip. Saved you $4 today. Good job.
Julie Moon says that's a hot tip for many shopping sites. There you go. I always I'm slow at making purchases anyway. So I always add stuff to my cart and then like a week later make the purchase. But Mark says technology is amazing. Embrace it, love it. Yet some appraisers still use 100-foot tape measure. Well, there was an article about an appraiser, an appraisal company that's trying to do same-day appraisals. We're not going to cover it today, but because it was an opinion, it was what's it called? It was a sponsored article, but they're trying to do same-day appraisals. That's what they're going after.
But anyway, if you hate all this banter and you're watching this, you can just click the links below. It'll take you to the different sections because this is the much maligned banter that we talk about. But Ray, you asked if I'd like to tell people about what the show is about, and I would love to.
Okay, great.
So when Ray and I met here on the interwebs back in the Oregon Trail days, early days of figuring out how to hack the interwebs, I had an idea for a show because I am in fact a bearded man of real estate. And when I met Ray, I noticed something very interesting about him.
What's that, Dan?
Did you know that he's never owned a toucan? Never.
I didn't, though it's one of my favorite cereals. I've never owned one. I was real close when I was in I was 13 to getting finches. Real close. My aunt and uncle had finches, and wound up they had like a baby finch and they had some eggs, and I was like, ooh, I wanted a finch real bad. But then one of the things that my parents made me do before I ever owned any animal is to read about them.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to read all about birds and birding and doing all that stuff. And my conclusion was birds are super annoying. So I didn't get the birds.
So if you did get those finches, you would have eventually gone on to own a toucan. Yeah. But you learned that birds are super annoying.
Yeah, birds are super annoying. Birds
and also, real. You guys, if you haven't looked it up, go to Instagram, look up Birds Aren't Real. It's an amazing page, an absolutely amazing page. And they have people convinced for realsies that birds aren't real. Anyway,
it's a Reddit group that I'm in.
It's fantastic. And he had an appearance. The main kid had an appearance on a news organization a couple weeks ago. It's absolutely fantastic. But anyway,
hysterical appearance on the live TV. Melissa Mara says, excellent conclusion, Ray. Thank you.
Yes, birds are super annoying. But obviously, I notice he's a beautifully bearded man. But what I also notice, he loves giving value up front to not only his clients, but to just humans in general. So the show's about being more as an agent, but also being more as a human.
Yeah. And one of the ways we believe in being more is to know what in the heck is going on. So that's why we do this show. Hopefully you can go to one place, get all the hottest real estate news, and then you don't have to listen to anything else or anyone else. You can just say, okay, I know the news now, and you can function.
And you only come to us. Ignore all of those other clickbaity realtors that just say big dumb things and then get 50,000 views. Ignore all of them. Come to us. Thank you.
There is not another real estate show that covers the volume of real estate news that we cover in the amount of time that we covered. I do have to say that. Like there's a couple of good little real estate news shows that'll like cherry pick a couple of headlines that are easy to put into some objection handling script and make it lead generation-y so that they get a bunch of clicks.
Yeah.
Which that's probably a good idea. But there's not one there's not one that covers like here's everything that's happening and things that your clients may ask you about.
We truly want you guys and consumers to know what's going on and give our take and then get the feedback. That's why we have YouTube and Facebook and Clubhouse here right now. So you can hear all of this from industry professionals right now. And if you're thinking about buying me a beer, just Cash App D Ludwig Rocks. DLUD.
Always with the Cash App. All right. So let's talk about this first. Well, are you ready to get into the headlines?
Oh yeah, we got to do it.
All right, let's do it.
My cat.
Right,
I apologize, everyone. For those watching, my cat is just super like give me on camera today.
He wants to be on there, big time. All right, so mortgage rates. Oh, that was supposed to display. And
that's just me and the cat. Yeah,
just add that to stream there. Okay,
there we go.
All right, mortgage rates fall slowly after a month-long rise. The average 30-year fixed interest rate declined 1 basis point from the week prior, 3.55, during the week ending January 27th. This article, by the way, is from Housing Wire. Following a month-long rise, mortgage rates effectively stayed flat this week, said Sam Carter, Freddie Mac's chief economist. We do expect rates to continue to increase, but at a more gradual pace. Which that's kind of like a turn, because when they're announcing like 4 interest rate increases, people are like, oh my gosh, it's going to go up a whole point by the summer.
Yeah. And it was going up quickly.
Yeah. With inflation well above 2% and a strong labor market, the committee expects it will soon be appropriate to raise the target range for the federal funds rate. So the Federal Open Markets Committee said in a statement. Do we have a Joel Kahn quote on here? I don't think so.
Next one.
Is it the next article?
I specifically read through articles looking for Kahn quotes.
Let's jump into the next article that way, because these 3 articles kind of go hand in hand.
They do. And I wanted to point out something here because it's leading towards me being right. But anyway, the 15-year fixed rate, you can still get under 3%. It was right. It was at 2.2 a year ago, 2.8 right now. But also the NBA does forecast that the 30-year mortgage rates will be at 4% by the end of the year. So someone is looking good.
Mine was
someone else is not looking good.
It's not looking good for me at all. Or Matt LaMarche. Oh, Matt, speaking of Matt LaMarche, you say his name 3 times and he joins. What's that, Matt?
That was the problem.
In Clubhouse.
That was the problem. We only said it twice.
All right. So mortgage applications climb 12% on the spike in refi demand. So mortgage applications increased 12% from the previous week due to surprising uptick in demand for refis. Was it really surprising, or did we predict that last week when we said, get ready for an uptick? I mean, it's really not surprising. If the rates start to tick upward and then you have a slight drop, then people are going to rush to the market knowing like this is their last chance. So compared to the same week a year ago, mortgage applications overall dropped 37%. So that's a pretty sharp decline. According to Joel Kahn, MBA Associate Vice President of Economic and Industry Forecasting, mortgage rates continue to climb, with a 30-year fixed rate rising 6th consecutive week. Let's see. It says, despite the increase in rates, refinance applications were up 18%, driven mainly by a 22% jump in the conventional applications. There has likely been some recent volatility in application counts due to the holiday impacted weeks, as well as from borrowers trying to secure refinance before rates go even higher. Wasn't there a blizzard right now? What are we laughing?
Just Pete's comment. I don't know why, but that makes me laugh.
Pete said going to need a hot take on the Washington Commanders. Is that really? Did they decide on that? I thought it was like Admirals.
No, I looked it up 5 hours ago. Washington announces new team name, Washington Commanders. Hold on. Let's finish this. I'm going to come back. I'm going to try to stop laughing because I do have a hot take.
Washington Commanders. Okay. Matt says, hey, Beards. He's joining us in multiple places. Thank you, Matt. Michelle Perry says, I'm seeing buy and hold investors refinancing right now.
Okay, so maybe that's it, because this kind of was surprising to me. Now, not in the fact that, hey, interest rates are going to keep going up, so if I haven't refinanced, I better now. That part's not surprising, but that it's up so high. What is it, 18% in this article? It says that's a lot. So that means way more people than we thought when things were at, really, really, really low. They didn't. They were like, well, they'll either keep going lower or I don't need to right now. And then they got the FOMO, the fear of missing out, and went, oh, dang, because they're at 5% when they bought in 2012 or whatever.
Yeah, it could also be some of the latest purchasers, people that purchased 3 years ago still had a pretty good rate. So now it's finally at a point where, okay, if this goes back up, we need to go ahead and refi now because it's not going to see the bottom.
Like I can save a full point kind of thing. But remember, I did the math. In 2017, it was the last time we were at 4 or something, like just over 4. So maybe they purchased in that, like in 2011, I think was when it was 5. So maybe the people that purchased in the last 7 to 10 years are like, all right, well, I can save a full point or whatever. But it was a little interesting to me. And then the other interesting thing was, I thought we had been reporting. So mortgage applications to purchase home increased 4% for the week, which they had been going down, but we're still 7% lower than the same week 1 year ago. Wasn't that margin much bigger just recently, last month ago? Like they were 4% higher, but 49% lower than a week ago or a year ago. Wasn't that a bigger margin? So that was pretty interesting to me because I am seeing a lot more buyers coming out of the woodwork at the moment.
Well, and that kind of brings us right into our next article. Good job, Dan. This one says borrowers rush to get the last of the low mortgage rates with refinances jumping to 18%. So this is kind of echoing the same information that we just said. Mortgage rates set near low records for the best part of a year, but now everyone who could benefit has refinanced. As of now, roughly 5.9 borrowers could still save enough to make the process worth it.
Ray, 5.9 million borrowers.
Oh, what did I say? Billion? Sorry.
No, you just said 5.9 borrowers.
Oh, no, 5.9. Yeah. Just million. There's only 5.9 borrowers left out there that can really benefit. So there's pretty much everybody that could has already done it. Yeah. No, 5.9 million borrowers could save enough to make the process worth it. This is the quote, Joel Kahn. He said there's likely, we've already read that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anecdotally, real estate agents say they could easily have more sales if there were more listings. The current supply of homes for sale is at a record low, with inventory especially lean on the lower end of the market. That's why most of the activity is now at the higher end. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, nothing surprising there, but I'm going to give a quick hot take on Washington Commanders.
Okay, a break for a hot take.
So now, I understand why the change, and Cleveland Indians changed as well. We live in a weird time where Ellen can get canceled. Ellen, like a superhero, not 15, 20 years ago. And now everyone's mad that she doesn't want people to look her in the eyes. I don't know. So we live in a weird time. I don't understand the time because I was born in the early 70s. So I don't understand any of this. It just kind of is what it is. But I'm also okay with change. If enough people agree to it, I guess that's fine. But then they changed their name to the Washington football team. I loved that. Like, just there you go.
Just keep it.
We're just a football team and we're from Washington. I thought that was awesome. It was really old school, like the Browns. Dude, the name's old school. They got a brown helmet. Like, it's just, with no names on the back and kind of a taped on number, like just old school, falling apart leather helmets. Like, that's what it took me back to, Washington football team. Now they've gone with the Commanders. Okay, now, so let's say the Clippers. The Clippers were originally from San Diego, and which Clippers is a type of boat, so that makes sense, right? Not a great name, huh?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, not a great name. Yeah. But then I have a funny thing to say about that Salt Lakers comment too. But the then you got the Pelicans. That's a really weird name, right? But apparently,
does it really strike the fear in the hearts of enemies?
Yeah, like I'm about to go against the Pelicans, but apparently from that region, there's a lot of Pelicans. Now,
the Toledo Toucans.
Now, is there a lot of Commanders from Washington? Is that their kind of play? Like, why are they going with Commanders? Ray, what do you think?
I couldn't tell you. DC is a funny place, I guess.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Commanders, I mean, it could be worse. Some of the other things that they were considering, like the Admirals and all that, that's just like it's trying too hard.
Yeah.
But here's a funny kind of unrelated but related story. So my kid goes to this special class that they could go and like play in the woods and learn how things were done way back in the day and stuff like that, right? So she comes home with this weaving that she made out of something. And she was like, this is how they weaved baskets. And we were looking at it. I was like, yeah, I bet that is how Indians weave baskets. And she said, I don't know, but Native Americans did. And that's why I was like, oh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Like,
Yeah.
the how it's just been one generation, but they didn't even tell her at school. You know, I grew up playing Cowboys and Indians. I grew up, you know, it was all Indians, Indians, Indians. So when someone changes a name from an Indian name, like for me, like that, it just didn't mean anything negative. But for the new generation, they don't even, that's not even in context. Like that's not even, it didn't even touch the brain.
Yeah.
So when I was like, oh yeah, that's how Indians weave baskets. And she was like, I don't know, but that's how Native Americans did. Like she didn't even know. So isn't that funny? Like
and you're
culturally, generationally. So I understand because of how the culture's changed and everything, that why they wanted to do it.
Right.
But at the same time, I still feel like they could have tried harder to keep it in the same vein in a way that would honor the tribes that they originally said they were trying to honor.
Yeah.
Right. I would have loved
that's
like
a good take. Yeah.
Something that like naming it something that honors
that
who
region
they said they were originally trying to honor, instead of going the complete opposite direction. And now it's basically meaningless. So
yeah. And so
I wish they would have, I wish they'd have done something like more, I don't know, like Thunderbirds or Falcons or, you know,
well, it seems
that you would associate.
It seems like, you know, they're trying to come up with a new team name in a time where you can't even walk on eggshells. If you look at an egg wrong, it's like, well, you're canceled, you know. Yeah. So, but Scap says that they went with the Commanders due to the head coach and others in the organization to keep it towards a military respect thing. So,
which is like the exact opposite of the Redskins.
Kind of what I was going to say is, I mean,
like literally going the other direction.
Yeah, because you could really take that down a path if you wanted to, but yeah.
Not only are you taking their land, now you're taking their football teams. Just saying.
Yeah.
All right. So there's our hot take. I hope that satisfied your hot take, Pete Thorpe.
Yeah. And I'll share my hot take on the Salt Lakers comment later. I'll just wait on that one because we got to get back to real estate.
Yeah. Let's talk about the non-prime happening. Speaking of the crash and fall.
Borrowers roll out.
Mortgage lenders are more willing to loan to non-prime borrowers. So encouraged by
what we should call it, Ray, is another crash ready to happen?
Yes. Oh, Pete Thorpe said very hot and satisfying. Okay, there you go, Pete. Thanks. Yes,
the first time I've heard that. Uh-oh.
Is this the end of the mortgage market? Is this subprime number 2? Will this lead to a crash in 2024?
Yeah, there you go.
All the headlines that
all
can
the
be
headlines.
used.
Just put them all in there. Yep.
Right. All right. So here's the story. Mortgage lenders more willing to loan to non-prime borrowers. So encouraged by the performance of loans taken out during the pandemic, lenders are increasingly willing to provide mortgages and other loans to borrowers with subprime and near prime credit scores, according to the analysis by the Credit Bureau Trends Union.
Wait, near prime?
Near prime.
Not non-prime, near prime. Okay.
Right. Near prime
600
scores.
instead of 620. Okay.
Yeah. Non-prime borrowers take out only a small fraction of home loans, but mortgage originations to that segment grew by 17.6% from a year ago, as overall mortgage originations fell 12.6%. The percentage of mortgages that are delinquent by 90 days or more fell from 1.05% during the fourth quarter to 0.59% during the last 3 months of 2021. Dude, that's pretty good.
That credit card's non-prime credit card, like there's so much to be said. There's 9 million non-prime credit card originations. That's a huge problem, but they're like, sure, because if you're late, we just charge you more money. And then what are you going to do? Open another credit card to then pay me what you that's
yep.
Awesome. That is awesome.
That's the way love goes.
Yeah.
Despite recent upticks in delinquencies in the most recent quarter, serious delinquency rates also remained near or below pre-pandemic levels in the wake of expired forbearance programs, which has continued to restore lender confidence. So basically, they're saying that we like the housing market. We like everything that's happening in the housing market. And it seems that borrowers are stronger than ever. So now we can extend credit to those borrowers that aren't as strong.
Because they feel that the market is strong and it's not going to crash. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
awesome. So another
is this going to be the end?
Another knife in the back of the bubble boys or whatever they're called.
But so now they're loaning on the subprime market. But what if home prices don't do what they've continued to do and grow every year by 20%?
And we're going to have another crash.
What if, as CoreLogic says, home price appreciation cools in 2022?
It'll cool.
It'll cool.
Wait,
so this article is also
the subtitle. Read the subtitle.
Okay. CoreLogic forecasts that price gains will slow to 3.5% by December of 2022.
That's amazing.
Home prices still got up.
Yeah,
home prices across the nation.
3.5% slow to 3.5%.
No. They grew 18.5% year over year in December. That's huge. That's so big. However, consumer desire for home ownership paired with low supply of homes for sale were the main contributions to a red-hot housing market. However, the data vendor said that the market is beginning to shift, mainly that home price gains, which are predicted to start 2022 up 10%, will slow to 3.5% by December of 2022. Here's a quote from Frank Nothaft. He's a chief economist at CoreLogic. As we move further to 2022, economic factors such as home building and a rise in mortgage rates are in motion to help relieve some of the pressure and steadily temper the rapid home price acceleration seen in 2021.
Yeah, seems legit.
Yeah, it just kind of lines up and echoes what we kind of predicted and talk about, and I think what most real estate agents think too. So
only caveat I have to say is that if inventory stays this critically low, because around me, I don't know around everyone else that's watching or listening, but around me, it's going down.
But there's like 1.3 million or something homes right now that have been started and have stalled.
Yeah, there was lots of, we're not covering, but I saw a few articles and videos about home starts fall. So there's less starts as well. So I think if that continues, it's going to keep, it's going to have to keep pushing prices up, but at a slower pace.
Yeah. James Festini says, wow, I made it to a live. Welcome, James. Thanks for joining us.
Good thing he put that space between A and live, because
I've made it alive.
I've made it to alive. Yes, we all currently are. But are we? It might be a simulation. I don't know yet.
Speaking of dying breeds, let's talk about Rex. Sorry. So we've been talking about Rex for a long time. So for those of you who don't know, maybe we should let's take a second and bring the consumer up to speed, and maybe the real estate agent, this is your first time watching, first time catching the show. So Rex has been a real estate agency that is outside of the National Association of Realtors and claims that they save their clients more money than we do because they don't pay buyer's agents and they don't. They basically cut real estate commissions. So they're a discount broker, basically. And when Zillow joined the National Association of Realtors, due to the rules with the National Association of Realtors, they can no longer display Rex listings alongside our listings as far as the National Association of Realtors go.
Right.
So they had to put it on an alternate tab. Well, that really negatively impacted Rex. Turns out Rex was relying on Zillow's business in order to list properties on Zillow instead of listing them on the MLS and then selling the properties without the use of quote unquote a traditional real estate agent.
So seems Rex, like, not to cut you off, but it seems like Rex's entire business model, and the articles, I think the second article is going to kind of cover this. Their entire business model was to essentially become a brokerage that FSBOs, that for sale by owners homes, essentially and charges them, and then just puts them on Zillow. That's what it seems to be they were banking on. Essentially, they are the little, parasitic fish that sticks onto the big whale, and they hope that whale's going to be eating.
I think the reason why it seems that way, Dan, is because it is is that way. That's pretty much exactly what they were doing. So so they sued Zillow because Zillow changed their website. And they did. Oh, sorry guys. They sued Zillow because Zillow changed their website. They did not. I don't think they won that suit. I think it was dismissed, but I could be wrong. It might still be going on. Right. So they also sued the National Association of Realtors because the National Association of Realtors rules would not allow them to make money on someone else's platform on Zillow because of how the rules are. If we all follow, are we good?
I think we're good. Are there any Rex agents watching, by the way? If
that would be
raise your hand, please speak. We'd love to hear from you.
If they're here, we'd love to bring you up. All right.
If you're bold enough to jump on with us, please do.
So what does Rex do? Right? If you can't beat them, join them. Rex bites the bullet and joins the MLS. The discount brokerage is now a member of 6 multiple listing services, but says it's still avoiding traditional agent fees by offering low commissions when it submits a listing. That's so cool. Sorry, I've got this on Do Not Disturb. I don't know what's happening.
It's disturbing.
That's really loud. How do I? It's on the moon.
It's on the moon, right? The moon. Yeah, my daughters have iPhones now, so they put it on the moon and it shuts it down all day. They can't access their phone at school.
What's up, David? Hey, some people have little black hearts by their avatars on Clubhouse. What is that, Ali? What does the black heart mean? I don't know what that means. And David, how's it going, buddy? I have a mastermind that I need you to jump in sometime. Okay, so let's keep going here then. Rex, so what happens? This news broke yesterday. Rex bites the bullet and joins the MLS. So they're still a part of 6 different MLSs. They're still offering low commissions to real estate agents. The brokerage joined half a dozen MLSs between September and early November. General Counsel Michael Toth told Inman the MLSs are California Regional MLS, Metro Sacramento, California GEMLS and in Bakersfield, and then the California FMLS in Atlanta, Colorado in Denver, and Northwest MLS in Washington. So Rex sued the National Association of Realtors and Zillow in March 2021, alleging antitrust violations for the NAR rule that prompted Zillow to separate non-MLS listings from MLS listings on its website. So a couple more details.
In Steph's comment, he said they lost sound on Clubhouse.
Oh, they lost sound on. So hang on, guys. That means I have to. Hey, can you unmute Dan and tell them that I got to rejoin then?
Yep.
I got to rejoin. That happens whenever I get the call.
Hey, I think you can hear me on Clubhouse, but Ray has to.
How happened?
Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah. Now we got y'all.
Yep.
The Rex overlords hurt you.
The Rex overlords. All right. So sorry about that, Clubhouse. So I've got this thing on Do Not Disturb on the moon, and sometimes somehow when a phone call comes in, it like shuts off the audio to Clubhouse. So there's some kind of glitch happening on the Clubhouse. So anyway, Rex joined some MLSs. If you guys missed that, they joined 6 MLSs, but they continue to state that they're going to save people money by not paying real estate agents who sell the house, which is, that's great. NAR segregation rule fundamentally deprived customers' choice of digital access to home marketed directly to the public. Our recent decisions to begin listing with the MLS was out of necessity. So they're still suing, I guess.
Yeah.
So in response to Rex joining some MLSs and its stated reasons for doing so, NAR spokesperson Mantel Williams told Inman,
I used to love his talk show, by the way. It's a great talk show.
Different guy. Quite simply, consumers hire brokers who participate in their local independent broker marketplaces because American home buyers and sellers appreciate the efficiency, transparency, choice, value, and pro-competitive benefits those marketplaces offer.
Yeah.
Okay. So NAR had another response that we heard about this morning. Let me bring up this next article. And I'd love to get some of your opinions.
Awesome.
If Rex is in your marketplace, I want to know what's going on.
They're in mine. I don't
is.
ever see a Rex listing anywhere. Look at that. Look at that picture.
NAR countersues Rex, real estate agent. NAR countersues Rex Real Estate, alleges harm from campaign of lies. That's the best. That reminds me of like when something's happening nationally and a news story is like trying to find the words to figure it out. It's like the campaign of lies. Late Thursday, NAR hit back against a series of claims by Rex that the trade group had committed antitrust violations and inflated agent commissions with a lawsuit that will likely force Rex to back up its claims, not just in regards to NAR, but its own business model. Rex has touted itself as a brokerage that charges home sellers a 2% listing fee, doesn't use the MLS and finds buyers using artificial intelligence and social media targeting, and has a policy of never paying outside buyer brokers.
So, okay. So the countersuit says, show us that you were not lying, that you're not being, show us that, because the article goes on to say and really calls them out. It's pretty awesome.
This is from the attorneys, NAR's attorneys. Rex statements of fact are material and likely to influence the purchasing decisions of consumers. As an approximate result of Rex's actions, NAR suffered and is likely to continue to suffer harm in its reputation and lessening of the goodwill associated with services and commercial activities. This harm is ongoing. This is a very serious lawsuit. Rex intended to and did in fact confuse and mislead consumers in believing that sellers who list their homes for sale with Rex do not pay a buyer agent commission, that Rex's technology allows it to unlock lower prices for clients without using multiple listing services to find market buyers, and that NAR, through its rules governing multiple listing services, has artificially inflated commissions, hindered the development of technology for home listings, and engaged in unlawful or unfair conduct. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. They also say that they're not an innovator. Rex is not an innovator. And that Rex's campaign of lies has disparaged NAR and harmed its reputation. So this is the strongest wording I've ever seen them use.
Read that one right under the second paragraph under not an innovator. This is where they straight up say it. Yeah, that one.
From its inception, Rex has sought to draw distinction between its services and those offered by members of NAR by publicly promoting itself as an innovator and accusing NAR and its members of engaging in illegal or unfair conduct. Yet Rex, a follower that provides the same types of services as thousands of other brokerages have long provided before it, and often in ways that are cheaper and better than Rex.
And they go on to say, let's see, right there, Rex claiming the Rex service is significantly. Yep.
Go ahead and read it. I don't see it.
Well, here, I always take some notes.
Yeah, go ahead. What was your take?
Rex, contrary to marketing, Rex sellers' clients do sometimes pay. But contrary to, I think this is where we're at in the article, so I apologize if we've hit it already. But contrary to what Rex has said in its marketing, Rex's seller clients do sometimes pay buyer agent commissions, as Toth told Inman in an interview last year. So the dude that's saying we don't do that said that they do that. NAR included that interview as an exhibit in its counterclaim. It also says Rex's advertising boasts repeatedly, without reservation, that home sellers who list their homes with Rex do not pay buyer's agent commissions. Rex's advertisements do not adequately disclose that when a home buyer is represented by an agent and refuses to pay her agent's fee out of her own pocket, the home seller may have to pay some or all of the commission owed to the buyer's agent to close the sale. So
dun, dun, dun.
Their marketing fails to mention that. So
Ryan Bokros says NAR finally decided to bring out the big guns. Yes, finally.
Which,
they went after him pretty hard for someone that's a member. Now that Rex is a member, they went after them pretty hard. Justin Carco says, bring on the zombies. Justin is here. There you go.
Okay, well, wait. Remember, they're not a member of NAR. They've joined some MLSs, and they do say that some of those MLSs, not all of those MLSs, are under NAR's thing. So they tried to join MLSs that aren't necessarily part of the Realtors Association.
Oh, y'all could do that for us. You can't be a part of our board or our MLS if you're not a part of The Realtors Association.
Yeah, ours is that way, and they joined ours, the CRMLS. But I don't know if you can opt out of it or not. But some of that gem one or whatever they mentioned, but CRMLS is the big one. Like if they want to have any play here in Southern California, they have to be part of that one. So,
do we have anyone in Clubhouse now that Rex is like in your market? Do you deal with these people? Is it easy? Is it bad? What's it like? I don't see anybody flashing their mics, even though they are in Atlanta. We got 4 people from Atlanta in Clubhouse up on the stage, and no, they're not flashing their mics. So they may be there, but they're not there.
So
I goes on to say, one time here in LA.
Oh, go ahead, Joe. What were you saying?
Yeah.
I've only seen the sign, I think, one time in 5 years here.
I've never seen a sign in Oregon.
Never seen their sign in Oregon. You've only dealt with them once, Joe. Andy, have you ever seen these people around?
No. Between Georgia, 2 MLSs I have in Georgia, and actually 3 MLSs in Georgia and 3 down there in Florida. And the Panhandle, I have not seen them in either area.
And you're in Hotlanta, right, Andy?
Yeah, Metro Atlanta. And
all the cool kids say Hotlanta. Huh? Are they in Canada? Just I don't think they're in Canada.
Negative. They are not in Canada.
Okay. Matt, have you ever seen these guys? Julie, y'all are in Hotlanta.
We're in Atlanta. No. I don't know if we call that Hotlanta.
All the cool kids. It's Hotlanta.
Born and raised, never said it in my life.
Well, now there's time for you to be cool.
So not in Atlanta, but yeah, nothing here.
You're in Georgia. It's all the same to me. Hey, speaking of Georgians, good luck tonight. Might your balls dribble well versus the Razorbacks, but I got a bad feeling about this one for y'all. Got a bad feeling about this one for you guys. No. So it'll be fun.
We don't like the round ball as much around.
Yeah. Tonight at 6:00, everyone tune in to watch the Razorbacks get the revenge.
Already thrown out disclaimers that maybe it's not going to go so well tonight.
All right. So really, Rex is in a lot of markets, but we have a lot of great people that are up on stage that have never done a deal with them. So I don't know. We don't know how much they're actually doing here. Speaking of unsavory business practices, let's talk about Better. One of Matt LaMarche's favorite companies. So if you recall, actually, let's bring it back just in case you're joining us just right now. If you recall, Better CEO let go of a lot of people on Zoom, and it was recorded, and it's the most cringy thing that I've seen on the internet, because not only is it just kind of cringy, but people's lives are like at stake. The CEO that's like, so everyone that's on this call, you're fired. Like, that's terrible. And people recorded it and are like, what? Are you serious? So it's the CEO let go of people via Zoom, and then he was suspended or let go, something like that. And we speculated if that was done on Zoom or if you think that was done in person, if you recall. Then they brought him back, and we reported like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen when they bring this guy back? And then bam. Better employees are leaving in droves after Vishal Garg returns as CEO. Employees of the U.S. headquartered mortgage company Better.com are leaving the company in droves after Vishal Garg returns as CEO a month after he let off 900 employees on a single Zoom call.
And he was so dismissive, remember?
Yeah. He was like, I wish. The language and everything he used was like.
He made it about him.
This is so hard for me to do. I wish there was another way. And yeah. It's not good. So if you're on this call, this was the quote. If you're on this call, you're part of the unlucky group that's being laid off. Your employment here is terminated effective immediately. There's a quote from the call. He also is the founding partner of 10 Capital. I don't know, whatever. I don't know why they mentioned that, but there it is. So yeah, that happened. And the only reason why we're bringing it up is because we've been kind of following the story and thought that was just an interesting take that he was reinstated and now people are leaving. Do you think when people leave the company that they're getting on a Zoom call with them to let them know that they're leaving the company?
No.
I would.
That would be awesome though. The ultimate troll.
I would say, hey guys, I need a Zoom call with you.
Yeah,
my bosses, I need a Zoom call. Yeah, I got a couple of questions. And then you say, by the way, guys, if you're on this call, you're one of the unlucky people that get to hear that I'm leaving.
Yeah, and to be even more, to go super duper hip, and now you can hire the Island Boys to do it for you. They'll be on the Zoom call with their big crazy hair and all their tattoos, singing "Island Boys."
I'm an island boy.
I'm an island boy. Dan is leaving your store.
It's terrible. Okay, so speaking of islands, another great segue. Dan, would you buy an island in the metaverse?
Nope, that's dumb to me.
Well, it's happening. I'm going to play this for the visual listeners, for the people watching, so that you can say, well, if it plays, it's not actually playing. I wanted you to see some of these metaverse islands that are being built. But sales of real estate in the metaverse topped 500 million in the last year and could double this year, according to investors and analytic firms. So what is the metaverse? Does anyone have a good handle on this? It's basically a make-believe place that you can live, like think Second Life. Meta is kind of where Facebook says everything is heading. So there are a whole bunch of these real estate sales recently. As a matter of fact, Snoop Dogg is building a mansion in the metaverse, and people are trying to get property around Snoop's.
So wait,
the more and more that it happens, the more interested I am to see like where's this going to lead for real estate agents, because there are real estate agents selling right now in the metaverse. Oh, there's a couple of images if you guys can see that down there.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
So what do I do? So Snoop builds a mansion, right? And I'm like, dude, that's sweet.
Right.
So then I buy some meta
right next to
property right next to him. And then what do I do? Do I go on my computer and like walk out of my house next door to Snoop's, and then virtual Snoop is there? Like, what's up, dog? Like,
is it not the Oculus? Couldn't you don your Oculus and then run over to Snoop's house and be like, hey, what's up, dog?
But dude, he used to live in Claremont, 1 city or 2 cities away from me. Like, I could have just gone to his house, but now I just didn't. Maybe here's the difference between born in 73 and born in 82 is one of us gets it and the other one just won't ever. I don't understand.
Well, you're a gamer too, right? So you're into the whole gaming space.
100%. And by the way,
this is gamification of life.
Well, here's the thing. I do understand why NFTs are a thing. It's just a different version of art, and art is subjective, right? Like, so in video games, they essentially sell. They've been doing this for longer. They weren't called NFTs, non-fungent. What are they? Non-fungent something?
Non-fungible tokens.
Non-fungible tokens. So, by the way, fungible is a fun word to say. But so they've been doing that a long time, where you can only have this armor or this skin if you buy this, or if you beat this, or if you earn this, or get this many achievements. So it's kind of been a thing a long time in the gamer universe. But like a house, so. My daughter is about to make $1 billion because if you guys have never heard of Bloxburg, it's a cool little universe inside of Roblox. She makes the most amazing houses you've ever seen. She's going to start selling these things. I'm telling her, you're going to start selling these things for lots of money.
So in order to do that, you got to use probably like an NFT or something like that to transfer it. So we're not going to get into the whole thing, but your house is non-fungible. It just means non-replaceable. It's one of a kind. It's unique.
But is it though? Like, so is my current
some
where
people
I'm sitting. This is one of a kind.
This specific location where you currently are is non-fungible, right? So Melanie Hayes says, born in 72 here, and I'm in there. Daub is not a reason. Oh, date of birth is not a reason.
It is.
So you're in the metaverse, Melanie. Do you have a house? Do you have a house in the metaverse? James Festini says, will agents be afraid to door knock in the metaverse? Will they suffer the same fear of rejection that they face now? Matt LaMarche is working on a metaverse barbershop, which I probably don't need, but he is trying to make a beardy NFT. So I made
100 calls today and got 99 no's. And then I was fine. Everything was fine. That's a lot of no's, but I got one yes. That's cool. I door knocked 100 in the metaverse, got 100 no's. That stings. That really stings.
That stings a little bit.
Because
someone was explaining it to me like this. Like, a lot of us are like, oh yeah, metaverse, it's kind of weird, that's wacky, whatever. But let's say that you struggle with social skills. You don't have a lot of social skills. You don't have a lot of friends. Maybe you're moving around everywhere, and you could either have the choice. You have the choice to either live in real life, or you could go into a metaverse in which you can be who you want to be, behave how you want to behave. You have friends, you have people that are waiting on you there. You have, people that look forward to talking to you and participating in whatever you're doing there. Then where would you rather be? And for a lot of people, they would rather be in the metaverse. So I think it is a thing. The part that's confusing a little bit to me is how real estate works there, because it seems like it should be unlimited, though we know that it is limited strictly by sandbox space or by the server space, like by how much space they have. So as more and more people get into the metaverse, the scarcity will increase. So it seems that the prices will increase, but you also have to be aware, like, an 86-inch television would have been unheard of for me to have 5 years ago without spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Now they're like $400.
But now I've got one because I bought it on sale for Black Friday. So, hey, cool, right? So is that going to happen where right now the novelty is there? Because there is going to be a limit to where your average gamer who's paying, $1,000 for the console and controllers, maybe they have a nice TV, or maybe, it's a couple of $1,000 for your Oculus or whatever you have, right? So what is the sustainability of the purchase price when we're talking about affordability in the metaverse? Because right now the big players are getting in, which makes it more accessible in the future to others. But is the price going to continue to increase? Because paying $12,000 for a small sandbox place that you could build a house or build something that you want to build seems steep for the average quote unquote gamer.
Right.
So are these spaces not going to be full of the gamers? Are gamers going to be the players, and then the developers are going to be the people that are buying the spaces to build what they want to build and develop it? So could I get an old rundown Snoop Dogg mansion and remodel it? Go Chip and JoJo on it?
Yeah, and will it sell for the same as so if Snoop
Dogg virtually lived there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like if he, and then who lives there with him, but like if he bought a mansion in real life, IRL, the gamers say, in 2016, and then he sold it today for, he bought it for 5, now he's selling it for 10 million. Is it going to do that, or is it going to not be worth as much because he doesn't virtually live there? And if he waits to sell it and there's more interest in this, meaning there's more people in the market, will the price go down because now it's kind of an averagey thing? It's not as cool anymore.
Is he gonna put a NFT attached to his metaverse mansion to where he continues to make payments off of it every time it sells?
Yeah, and you only get that NFT if you buy the house.
Yeah. Let's look at the inside the metaverse. Inman's got a pretty good take on this, that if you don't know what's happening and if you can't see what's happening, you could go there. We give EXP a lot of heck because it's fun. It's just kind of been, we have friends that were with EXP for years and we always kind of gave them heck as they would come on the show. So it's just kind of stood there. But, they have the metaverse. They have the Second Life type of community. And I don't know that agents would go there for that Second Life aspect because it's kind of detached from the actual metaverse. It's their own metaverse. I think what people want is the access, support, and the information. But in this context, I think this is a very different situation because this is where people live. And if they can figure out how to attach their metaverse to one of these big sandboxes, I think they would have something there. Now this guy is on, let's see, his name's James Harris.
$1 million.
He's with the agency. $1 million listing Los Angeles. He goes into the world of the metaverse. He says, you want to be part of something new. Harris, a luxury broker at the agency, told Inman, you want to be a part of something that's revolutionary. And this is revolutionary. We are in this so early right now.
Okay. So on Netflix, there's this documentary and I don't know what it's called. I forget what it's called, but it's high-end art. And there's this art gallery in New York that apparently for a long time were buying counterfeits that they believed were real and then reselling them for millions of dollars. And they were from these artists that, when American realism and American, what do they call it? I forget. It was like Jackson Pollock and all these really kind of, in the 30s, 40s, and 50s were coming up. They were all from this era. But what they did is they found someone and this is the whole thing. Do they know about it? Do they not know about it? But there was this one dude that was recreating these arts and then selling them for 200, 300, 400, 500 grand each. But then people were buying them for 2, 3. It was like $60 million total, something crazy, or maybe even more. But going back to my art is subjective thing, these people and the people selling them, the gallery and the people buying them, all believed these were legitimate works of art and bought them for all this money. And then it turned out they weren't real. So, but they chose to give that money, right? They chose to pay that money. So,
but now in itself, because of the story, that's also famous and could be worth what they ask again, just simply for the story.
And that's kind of why I'm trying to wrap my head around it, because it's never going to make any sense to me. But like, I'm trying to get it. Like, yes, maybe. So if popularity is there, will people keep doing this? Because it is subjective. Like, all right, I'm into this thing now. And I see a lot of my friends putting in their stories, go make an NFT. Someone even posted, I made my first NFT. And it's like, all right, I've done 1,000 of those. The logo for this show is my NFT. I did that 4 years ago.
Well, NFT gives a token that shows some type of ownership, but not copyright, by the way. So you can have ownership of something, but you don't own the copyright.
Wow. I didn't know that. Isn't that a slippery slope?
You own the token of ownership. So you own it, but you don't own the copyrights to it.
Oh, but the copyright's still with who created it.
Right. You own the NFT that shows that you own it.
Right. Yeah.
But someone else owns the copyright.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. It's I don't know. It's an interesting world. We talked a little bit last week. I was at the Tom Ferry Elite Retreat. We talked a little bit about NFTs and blockchain and all that stuff. And again, if you missed, I posted in the chat earlier, but there's a group that we created on Facebook that is just kind of for crypto real estate. So it's for beginners. If you don't know anything about this stuff, I would suggest join up. We're going to first talk about encryption, what encryption means, how it works. Then we're going to go into the blockchain. We're going to talk a little bit about the blockchain, how it works. Then we're going to talk about cryptocurrency, how it relates to the blockchain and encryption. And then we're going to talk about NFTs. And then we will get to the metaverse, virtual real estate. And then we'll talk about attaching like NFTs for purchasing a home or using cryptocurrency loans to purchase a home and all this other stuff. So it's we're going to all be kind of learning together. If you're interested in that, just go to Facebook, search the Real Crypto, real estate crypto, get it, Real Crypto. So search that, and that's it's me and Zachary Loft. We're kind of leading the discussion, but we're going to try to get as many experts in there as possible.
Or you could just click on one of those headlines that says, see how this 31-year-old sold 5 NFTs for $6 billion. You could just do that.
Well, there's like a 16-year-old that's got over $60 million of art NFTs that she created or whatever. So it's insane stories right now. But what's my question still remains, like, where's the affordability curve going to go? Is it going to continue to escalate due to the interest, or will it level out? Because, right now there's 4 or 5 major players that you could purchase quote unquote land in. So when those major players expand to other major players, what does that look like?
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to project the value of what you're buying, because you could be buying on the hype and then it settles, or you could be buying low and then it goes crazy. Like, how do you know which side you're on? It's almost impossible to tell right now because it's a new market.
I feel like that everyone is hyping it to hype it to get people to buy in, and then they're going to go, yeah, this was a bad idea, and then get out. Just like what happened with what was it? What was the gaming store? GameStop.
Tulips. Oh, okay. Yeah, GameStop. Yeah.
They artificially inflated that stock, and then it crashed a day later. Like,
I feel like there's some NFTs and currencies like that, but I don't know about the real estate. How do you value it?
Yeah, like I said, I can kind of understand the art behind it. I can, but the buying real estate is where I'm just.
Well, someone sent me a link a year ago. It was like, hey, buy one of these lots for $2,000. I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. They're like, buy this lot in the metaverse for $2,000. Trust me,
right?
It'll go up. Like, I didn't do it because I had no idea what the guy was.
Isn't like buying real estate on the moon? Like,
It felt like it. Speaking of the moon, SpaceX is going to crash a rocket into it, right? Isn't that today?
Oh, I didn't
There's
hear
like,
about that.
yeah, there's like a runaway. This is news you can use. SpaceX rocket.
So not only did we
crash.
bring you the new Washington football team name, we're going way outside of real estate today, dude.
We are to the moon, you could say. SpaceX. Yeah, this was 2 days ago, I guess. What we know about SpaceX rockets that's expected to hit the moon. Out of control. SpaceX rocket on a collision course with the moon. Yeah, that happened.
Huh.
So get ready for the moon to crumble apart, and then we all die.
Yeah, which is inevitable.
Ryan Bocros with a value question. He says, values determined by those who are willing to pay. Well, tell that to the appraiser.
Yeah, let's get Scap in here. How's he going to appraise
Scap.
Snoop's mansion?
Julie Moon says, you mean kind of like how we're all friends here and I've never met you all in real life? Yeah, this is our little metaverse. Ooh, think about broadcasting in the metaverse in front of a quote live studio audience. And we're like looking around at the audience instead of just like, and Julie Moon could be there and like waving in the audience. People could raise their hands.
Everyone's going to be sitting at home with an Oculus headset on.
Yeah. That's the future. No, they're going to be sitting at work. Eric Daniels says, you can do anything you can imagine, Zuckerberg promises. You will experience the world with ever greater richness.
Yeah, dude, but you got to remember, Zuckerberg is an actual robot. He's not a real person. You're listening to a robot.
Someone said he was an alien.
Both, whatever. An alien robot.
Let's see. We had somebody raise their hand.
Ray.
Yeah, go ahead, Jen.
Oh, it's Jen, Portland, Oregon.
Hi.
I've been buying NFTs, and one of the things that I look for when I'm vetting my NFTs is utilities that allow you essentially rental space in crypto voxels is the one that I'm specifically interested in. I love the idea of having like virtual sales meetings, virtual office meetings, virtual clubhouse. We can all hang out there. To me, it's fascinating, but that's just one of the ways that I'm vetting my NFTs that I'm purchasing.
Wow. How many NFTs do you own?
I think I own 7 now.
Wow.
Thanks to our William Tong got me into it. I am actually an art history major, which makes me such an amazing realtor. So it's fascinating to me, the NFT space.
Very cool. Way to go. Well, see, there you go. You got to join that Real Crypto group. You can all teach us how to do it. So you have 7 NFTs. Do you see like, is there a way that you could track the values of those NFTs? Are there like similar NFTs that have gone up in value that you could say, wow, I bought mine for 2,000 and this guy just sold one that's real similar for 30?
There are. The way I sort of vet mine is I have a process that I vet them through. First, I have to kind of like the art, but some of them I strictly buy for the utilities. I'm a physical art collector anyway, so I support the physical artists that I collect. Obey, Shepard Fairey, who everybody knows. I have a couple of his. His are almost guaranteed to go up in value just because of who he is and what he does. He also has a really heavy social component behind him, which I appreciate. And the utilities are sort of unknown, but the way I look at it is if anybody can do it, sort of he can do that or his people can do that. And then some I buy strictly because I sort of, again, like the social component behind it. Some I just buy because I like the art. And some in the communities I'm at, they're like, hey, buy this one. It's going to be worth something someday.
Huh.
So it's just sort of, a little bit of a crapshoot. It's sort of, it depends on what your methodology is behind it. But to me, I sort of look at it like real estate. Some of them you're going to live in, some of them you're going to flip, some of them you're going to buy and hold. So that's sort of the way that I look at it.
Interesting.
So there's
producer Matt,
who was, by the way, born in 1999, 2000.
Yeah. Is he millennial or is he pre-millennial? Post-millennial.
Oh, he's post.
He said,
he's an exennial.
In response to your lovely explanation, Jennifer, he says, right click, save JPEG. Yeah, but you don't own it. Like you could do that. Yeah, sure. But you don't actually own it. And I think she's right. The social component about a lot of that stuff is more interesting. Tim, Tim, is this the Tim Macy? He said, Dan tried to sell me a bathroom mirror selfie telling me it was an NFT.
Yep. By the way, he says tried to sell, successfully sold is what he really means to say.
That's right.
He
Tim
paid
bought
up.
it.
Tim bought it.
Jennifer, did you have, I saw you raise your hand and come up here. Jennifer Goodman, did you have anything to add to the discussion around the NFTs or metaverse? Are you in it?
Hey, thanks for having me up. I appreciate it. Am I in it? I am. I have a good chunk of change in the crypto space. I've got money in sand, and I've got money in Ethereum, and I actually have a cousin who got an NFT from Obey and then sold it, and if he actually cashed it into financial gain in fiat currency, he made like $100,000.
Wow, that's
good.
So
yeah, and it wasn't a mirror selfie of anyone, and the last I checked, he bought it for X amount of Ethereum and sold it for Y amount of Ethereum, and that's real money. So
yeah,
I don't own an NFT yet, and as far as metaverse goes, it is a road that I will be going down. It was something I was supposed to be working on with someone a couple weeks ago, and we just kind of pushed it off to next month because they're moving their platform over in OVR. And it's a question of duking it out. Will all of these other spaces continue to exist going forward? If you're buying, the Eiffel Tower on OVR versus buying it on, one of the other platforms, and having ownership and what you can do and where we would gather and have these, other social gatherings, etc. Or where we want to, put our billboards is, buy real estate from Jen and Jen at Portland and Austin, and away we go. And there's just so many things that can be done. And here's a gentleman who can talk more about NFTs than I could ever. Is Mark Zakharoff just got on as a listener. He knows quite a bit about it. So I'll leave it with the rest of the gang.
Yeah.
Well, and also in the real estate title space, title's been done the same way for how many years? I do know I'm looking into Proppy has a crypto real estate certification. As far as I know, that's one of the best ones on offer.
Actually, I'm taking that.
I do know that they often offer like a half price on it, so I'm sort of waiting for that. But I'm looking at taking that next. They actually have 2 certs you can get.
I would love to know about that, Jen. Stay in touch on that. But yeah, as far as the chain goes, and getting clarity around that and how we're selling real estate with clear title and all the good things, and eventually, right now, so I'm in Austin, Texas, and the state of Texas does not accept cryptocurrency as a method of purchasing a home. It has been done a couple times, but it's done outside of title with an agreement between the buyer and the seller, so that the title does actually exchange hands. But unfortunately, in our state right now, we can't do what's being done, and that's more like in David Morell's end of things. And I think Justin went pretty on top of that as well.
So I'm taking I'm taking that course. I'll be able to report on that certification course because I am taking that from Proppy, which some of us in
the change the name of the show.
Crypto group. Well, to what?
This week in
virtual
meta real estate,
meta news, meta. Yeah. Well, do you have to? I mean, if it's going to be quote unquote real estate, we would just cover it automatically.
It's not real.
Depends on your definition of reality.
So real property isn't real anymore. Oh,
it is real.
No. Depends on my definition. So I can just walk into someone's house and go, dude, this isn't real, man.
Oh my goodness.
Nothing
that opens up a whole nother can. Real estate itself. Didn't the term real estate come from the term royal estate, and that's why if you don't pay your taxes, the government's going to come get it. It's not actually yours.
Yeah, because in Spain, real means royal. R-E-A-L means royal.
Yeah, so it's royal estate. And if you don't believe that you don't own it, don't pay your taxes. So I wonder if they're going to have taxes on the virtual space.
All right.
I guess that's probably your server fees, right?
I don't know, man. This is making
Ryan Boker says they create an LLC that owns property, and the NFT basically is the ownership of the LLC, right? I don't. They create an LLC that owns the property NFT. I don't know. I couldn't answer the question. All right. So anyway, if you want to know more about that stuff, go to the other mastermind. So Dan, before we go, could you tell everybody where they can find you?
I wasn't going to say this, man, but this last 10 minutes or 20 minutes has just killed me. My brain hurts. So please pay me money for sitting here this entire time. But you can do it virtually via Cash App at D-Letter Rocks. Yeah, dude, that's the thing. Like if a server goes down.
Tim Macy says a server going down is the equivalent of losing your house in a fire or something.
Yeah.
But on that note, Ray, in all honesty, so I was talking to a guy a couple weeks ago who, sells silver, and looking at silver and gold and historically of how our economy has been based on gold. The thing is, if everything crashes, it's not like I've got a bunch of gold and coins that I can realistically start to utilize. So
you don't have gold stored for the same amount that's in your bank? You crazy?
No.
we all do that.
Everyone does that.
Everyone's supposed to do that. No.
I have a gold.
No, that's a good point.
Right now,
what's the whole thing backed on? Faith and trust in the government. All right. Anyway, we'll get off on a tangent.
Yeah, but if the thing is, if it crashes tomorrow, this guy was saying, well, if everything crashes tomorrow, like this is backed by, Brinks and blah blah and all this stuff, and I just walked away from it. And I know others who have invested with him, which is beside the point. But it's like if everything crashes, it crashes. So at what point, what becomes currency? Are we fundamentally saying I'm going to trade you a cow, 5 gallons of water?
Toilet paper.
It's the old barter system. It's the old barter system is what happens. Like you put in 2 hours of work for someone else, and you get 2 hours. Julie Moon says Dan, let's go get a beer and talk about sports.
Like real things, but I'm gonna leave you guys with this, but it's D-Letter Rocks everywhere. DLUDWIGROCKS. Yes, Cash App, because my brain is dead now and I need to be paid for it. But also on Instagram, I don't post a lot of real estate stuff. It's mostly other stuff, music and whatever I'm doing. I posted a selfie today of me driving with the windows down in 48-degree weather in California. It was amazing. Anyway, nice. But I'm gonna leave you with this. Zebras are black with white stripes. Ray, where can they find you?
You can find me at Razorback. That's RAYZORBACK. Everywhere good Razorbacks are sold. And zebras in the metaverse may not be. So check us out everywhere on Clubhouse, YouTube, and Facebook. We're not broadcasting yet in the metaverse, but you can be sure that I'm going to figure out a way to stick us there. So thanks everybody for joining us. We really appreciate the live conversation. Thank you so much, Clubhouse, for pinging people in and for popping up there. Jen, Jennifer, Joe, Justin, Matt, and
me on future episodes with my Oculus on. Oh, hey guys.
That is one component that we're going to have to figure out. Like you can't broadcast in the meta with Oculus and both broadcasting on YouTube unless YouTube sees what you see. Anyway, that's for a different show. So
yeah. So, but instead of saying, for the listeners listening, for the viewers can see it. We're gonna have to say for the people watching us, what we're seeing in the metaverse is Ray is wearing
audio
a
listeners
leopard print onesie.
Yes, that's exactly how I'll start the show. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. We got to end it. I got to run. Bye, everybody.
Bye.